In this video, we're going to have a look at the workbook answers for the cabin crew. 4.1 Introduction. 4.1.1 The cabin crew. The cabin crew are responsible for passenger safety and must be trained to deal with security and emergency situations. Part of their responsibilities is to ensure that all emergency equipment is in working order before takeoff and explain and demonstrate safety procedures and equipment to passengers. A cabin crew member is defined as any crew member other than a flight crew member who performs in the interest of the safety of passengers duties assigned to him or her by the operator or the commander in the cabin of an airplane. Four point two Cabin crew. 4.2.1 Identification of cabin crew. The operator must ensure that all cabin crew members wear the operator's cabin crew uniform and are clearly identifiable to the passengers as members of the cabin crew. 4.2.2 Number and composition of cabin crew. An airplane with a maximum approved passenger seating configuration of more than 19 seats must not be operated when it is carrying passengers unless there is at least one cabin crew member included in the crew. The minimum number of cabin crew is the greater of one cabin crew member for every 50 passenger seats or fraction of 50 passenger seats installed on the same deck of the airplane, or the number of cabin crew who actively participated or were assumed to have participated during the manufacturer's qualifying emergency evacuation demonstration for that aircraft. There is an exception to this second rule. If the maximum approved passenger seating configuration is less than the number evacuated during the manufacturer's qualifying demonstration by at least 50 seats, the number of cabin crew may be reduced by 1 for every whole multiple of 50 seats less than the certified maximum capacity. However, the authority may under exceptional circumstances require the operator to include additional cabin crew members. In unforeseen circumstances, you may fly with less than the required number of cabin crew provided that you reduce passenger numbers accordingly. The reduction calculation will be specified in the company OPS manual. If this happens, a report must be submitted to the authority after the flight. 4.2.3 Minimum qualifying requirements. Each cabin crew member must be at least 18 years old, have passed a medical examination or assessment at regular intervals as required by the authority, have successfully completed initial training and hold an attestation of safety training, have completed the air-prop rate conversion and/or differences training, undergo recurrent training, be competent to perform his or her duties in accordance with the procedures specified in the operations manual. 4.2.4 Senior cabin crew members. Whenever more than one cabin crew member is assigned to a crew, one of them must be nominated by the operator as the senior cabin crew member. The senior cabin crew member is responsible to the commander for the conduct and coordination of normal and emergency procedures in the cabin. During turbulence, in the absence of any instructions from the flight crew, the senior cabin crew member may discontinue non-safety related duties and advise the flight crew that the fasten seatbelt signs need to be switched on. In this case, the cabin crew must then secure the passenger cabin and other areas. A person may only be nominated as a senior cabin crew member if he or she has at least 1 year's experience as an operating cabin crew member. In addition, he or she must have completed a training course covering the following: pre-flight briefing, cooperation with the crew, the operator's requirements, human factors, and duty time. The operator must also establish a procedure for selecting the next most qualified crew member to operate as senior cabin crew member in the event that he or she becomes unable to operate. 4.3 Single crew operations. On smaller aircraft, there may be only one cabin crew member, in which case he or she must satisfy certain minimum training requirements if they don't have previously comparable experience. The training will emphasize the particular considerations regarding single crew operations, including responsibility to the commander for cabin safety and emergency procedures as specified in the operations manual, the importance of coordination and communication with the flight crew, how to manage unruly or disruptive passengers, a review of operators' requirements and legal requirements, handling the necessary documentation, accident and incident reporting, flight and duty time limitations. As well as these conditions, the crew member must also be given familiarization flying, which must include at least 20 hours and 15 sectors. Familiarization flights must be conducted under the supervision of a suitably experienced cabin crew member on the type to be operated. 4.4. Operating on more than one type or variant. Normally, a cabin crew member is only allowed to operate on 3 airplane types. Exceptionally, this can be extended to 4 by the authority, provided that on at least 2 of the types the non-type specific normal and emergency procedures are identical and the type-specific procedures are similar. Airplanes are considered to be different types if they don't have the same emergency exit operation, the safety equipment is in different locations, and the type-specific emergency procedures are different.